over the Gulf entrance is not negotiable. If Israel wants to threaten us with war, they are welcome. The Gulf of Aqaba is a key trade route in the Middle East. The northern arm of the Red Sea, it is bordered by Israel, Jordan, Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Egypt had been in conflict with Israel since its formation and the subsequent expulsion of the Palestinians, known as the Nakba or catastrophe, in 1948. Egypt closed the Gulf to Israeli ships once before, in 1956, and declared that they had nationalised the Suez Canal. These acts threatened the fledgling Israeli state and caused fears that Egypt would attempt to cut off oil supplies to Europe. Subsequently, the leaders of France, Britain and Israel met in secret talks, resulting in the Suez War. But by 1967, Nasser was convinced that Israel was becoming increasingly marginalised. In an address to his armed forces, he asserted that Egypt was in a direct confrontation with Israel, stating that Israel today is not backed by Britain and France as was the case in 1956. It has the United States which supports it and supplies it with arms, but the world cannot again accept the plotting which took place in 1956. US President Lyndon Johnson condemned Nasser's blockade as illegal. According to Jewish socialist John Rose, the US, at the height of its disastrous war in Vietnam, was terrified by the prospect of the anti-imperialist movement spreading to the Middle East. Nasser had come to power on the back of a popular revolution in 1952, which opposed Western imperialism in the Middle East. Furthermore, Egypt held close relations with nearby Syria, which had fought numerous border disputes with Israel since 1948. Syria's Ba'ath Party government, brought to power in the 1966 coup, announced that it wished to fight a popular liberation war to allow Palestinians to reclaim the land from which they were forcibly expelled. After Syria attacked an Israeli tractor on disputed territory, Israel's Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin responded with artillery and fighter jets, announcing that the moment is coming when we will march on Damascus to overthrow the Syrian government. The threat of a war between Israel and Syria further motivated Egypt's blockade of the Aqaba Gulf. 15 days later, Israel launched what was to be known as the Six-Day War. It would reopen the Gulf of Aqaba and give Israel control over the West Bank in Jordan, the Gaza Strip in historic Palestine, and the Golan Heights in Syria. In the years that followed, Nasser would sign peace agreements with Israel, which would make him a pariah in the eyes of Palestinian liberation fighters.